Dagmar, how are you doing, girl?
I'm good. I'm
Good.
safe. That's the most important thing. So, and otherwise, everything else is great too.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. We are actually just, guys, use your question and answers on the bottom for your questions. And if you want to just maybe add a chat or discussion, please use that. And we're gonna go ahead with our webinar. We're not yet live. We're gonna start now. I was just waiting for Derek. And I had asked someone to just contact him just to make sure that, because we also have a network problem. I think in the last few minutes, I've also been struggling. Dagmar, how is Devon?
Durban is good. So we definitely have, I'm still enjoying in between the nice weather. So my husband does the shopping. I'm not leaving my house. And yes, we are making sure that we use the time wisely.
Yes, that is true. Yes. And perfect. We actually, there are people already posting through. There was a question that I've already answered, Dagmar. We will take through with the others. Should we go live now?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm a little bit worried though, because we can't get hold of Derek. I'm gonna just ask the team just to contact him, just to know, because we had shared the sum of the questions between the panelists. So just a few more minutes, I'm just gonna try to get hold of him. My network also is very unstable, so.
My husband was today at somehow in contact with Telkom, and they need to fix things up today. So it was all over the place, unstable. And
Dagmar?
yes, I can hear you.
Perfect. There is some comments that we meant, but I want us to go live now. For now, we're just you're gonna then have to answer all those questions that I was asking.
That's fine. I see what I can do, and what I can't answer, I'm sure Derek will be able to give us the answers later.
Perfect. Yes. No, that's good. Okay, I'm just gonna download it now. But other than that, Dagmar, while I am going through the introductions, can you please introduce yourself? And I'm gonna go live now on Facebook. Dagmar, before you start.
Yes.
Great. So we are live. Bonolo, please check if we're alive on Facebook. Dagmar, please introduce yourself, what your company does, and how long you have been doing what you're doing, and why you have been quite proactive in this with your background in mind.
Okay, yes. Thanks very much, Precious, for organizing this great webinar, and I'm sure it will also help lots of people here today. My name is Dagmar Breiling. I still can't hide, you can hear my accent. I'm originally from Germany. I'm, I think, over 13 years now here in South Africa. I started a couple of years ago, 7 years ago, my own company, Funding Connection. And Funding Connection assists entrepreneurs accessing loans and grants. we draft business plans, we assist with the full application process, compiling documentations, filling out forms, and submitting on the behalf of our client. I think I just talked this afternoon with a friend of mine, and I told her we haven't spoken for a couple of weeks. And I said, okay, so 3 weeks before the lockdown, I saw what happens all over the world, and I thought, let me stock up my pantry a little bit, because usually I don't even have a big pantry. And everybody was laughing at me. Then 1.5 weeks before the official lockdown, I spoke to my team and I said, okay, let's prepare. Worst case scenario, what happens? Make sure everybody is able to work from home. Everybody has internet access. I wanted everybody to be able to prepare. And I think that's something what I do always. First of all, I'm maybe even panicky because I think, oh no, we have 10 team members. So that is really quite a responsibility to make sure that you are able to pay everybody at the end of the month. And I thought, okay, we need to be proactive, we need to be prepared. And I like to do whatever I can. And sometimes there's only so much you can do. I totally understand this, but doing what you can is definitely usually already helping. And as soon as I heard there are some funds available, I sat there for a couple of days really and researched, figured out how to apply for it, informed all my 60,000 newsletter subscribers all the time. I think some of them are already sick and tired of our emails because we are sending out emails at the moment each and every day. But most of our newsletter subscribers are more grateful to have all this information, to make sure that they know about the different funds. Whenever we hear there are some changes, we are just informing. And in the next step, we share all the links. Okay, so everybody is able to do that on their own. I will also share my website later on. We have a specific page for COVID-19 funds where all the available funds, actual available funds, are listed with the links so that you are able to apply on your own. We just offer then, sometimes people are just stuck. The one fund needs cash flow forecast, company profiles, there's a list of what people need to submit. And this is our strength. This is what our day-to-day business. We know exactly how to do these things, what they expect. So we fill the forms out, we collect the documentations, we submit on the behalf of our clients. Of course, we do charge for this service, but I slashed all the prices specifically for these COVID-19 funds dramatically to be able to help as much as we can. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
I think that's all about.
By the way, I have been enjoying, Dagmar, I've been enjoying your, Dagmar, are we still on? I have been enjoying your emails because I think it was about exactly the information, but also it was about just knowing that there is a support. It actually inspired me to have this webinar with our team because I said, there is information, there is a support. Let's reach out to Dagmar to say, please assist, because I know you are the best in this. You did a great business plan for me the other time, even though I have not asked for funding, but I'm gonna be dusting it up now with everything that is happening.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you so much. Did you get all of that, Dagmar?
Yes, I heard you. There's no problem here on my side.
Oh, great. Thank you so much. Dagmar, there has been some questions that have come through. I'm not too sure if you can be able to look at the webinar chat. The first question that was being asked there, would you please, by Genevieve, would you be able to actually be able to answer?
I can't see them here because I only see your presentation. And
No problem. So what I'm going to do is I will then share that with you just now. Let's start with my questions and then we'll take the audience questions then.
sounds good for me. Yes, please do so.
Perfect. Guys, we will answer all your questions. We have more than enough time. And I hope Derek Shame is able to be able to get hold of us. So the first question, Dagmar, that I wanted to ask was mainly around how many funds are actually currently out there for the support, and can you specify them, the ones that mainly have quite a big money, but also look at the ones that are quite generic, that cover most of the industries.
Yes, okay, I can do that. If you want to go, if you can share my
I will
website.
stop sharing. You can share, Dagmar, on your machine. I will stop sharing on mine.
I'm not so sure if I'm allowed to. I can't. Let me quickly give you the link.
Oh, okay. Actually, I was on it earlier.
And here's the link. Yes, my marketing manager just finished today this specific page where we will update it all the time. We will check it every 2 days, because I also know sometimes funds are closed, funds have changed the links, just to make sure that everybody is able to find that.
Okay.
Let me quickly, so the first one is definitely the SME fund, where most people are usually qualifying for. There's a two-step process. First, you need to register, and the second step, you need then to apply for funding via SIFA. That's a small enterprise finance agency. They have two different funds. One is the debt relief fund, that is when you needed to or you needed to reduce your business and your business is really affected by COVID-19. And then, of course, there are always these businesses out there, they see opportunities and can grow in these difficult times. And SIFA also has some funds for them available. If you say, here, you are already manufacturing masks, and now there's such a big demand for masks, you need more equipment, you need more machinery, you need more material. This is what they offer. Yeah. The challenge with all of these funds is that you need to have a registered company with CIPC, you need to be UIF registered, you need to have your tax clearance certificate, you need to be compliant, okay? And that's one of the biggest challenge here in South Africa. Most companies are not compliant. So business owners don't treat their business like business. They just, yes. And that is now really a challenge for them. You have a chance. So if you have staff, you are not UIF registered, you're still able to register for UIF. Okay, but UIF is an insurance system, so you can't apply for funds through the UIF. But with this UIF registration, you have the possibility to raise funds through this SME fund, also for your salaries and wages to help you.
Wow.
That is the first one. The next one, okay. So are there any questions in between? Do you want to do that like this, Precious, or should I finish and then answer
I think
questions?
finish and then we'll take the question later.
Okay. So IDC has, if you go a little bit further down, please. Oh yes, stop. And you see there's qualifying criteria. Caitlin did a great job. There are 3 buttons. You can press on these buttons. They will give you then the website where you are able then to get the information. We want you to make it as easy as possible for everybody get access to it. I'm not going here through all these details. That would take up too much time. Yeah, go through it. I know it's lots of information. They want really everything. Okay, so as an economist, what I also can of course explain is government saw there is a big challenge. Number one is I'm absolutely amazed how quick they were able to come up with all these funds. Okay, making sure that you have the information online, making sure that you have the applications online, making sure that you can submit online in a couple of days is something where they usually need a couple of months for. Yeah. So absolutely amazing. Are there some challenges in between? Sometimes the submission didn't work in the beginning. Yes, but still being able to do this in this short period of time. Wow. Okay. Then of course the next step, what they also did is they thought, who do we need to protect at the moment? And of course, the weakest in the business environment are the employees. Okay. So employers usually should be able to have some funds available, saved up some funds. Most employees are really living from hand to mouth. So all the funds, what they are set up, are set up for businesses. They have employees. They are depending on that the employer has money to pay them, even if it's only a portion of their salary. And this is the thinking behind all these funds. Yeah, just for everybody to understand. So of course, some of you will fall through the cracks. I know that. Yeah, but that's why what they were really thinking. Okay, there are employers, they have employees. They are maybe not able to pay their employees. How can we help them so that they get some money? Okay. IDC has 2 different funds. The one is definitely for healthcare. This is a fund, if you are in the healthcare industry already, you are manufacturing from hospital beds, masks, sanitizer, what is this, all these machines. Yes, you see here, there is a, nope, that is the wrong link. Oopsie. There
Is
must
that
be
the
a
wrong
mistake.
link?
Thanks very much. The wrong link.
Oh, okay. So which fund?
No worries.
This one is explaining what is essential services.
Yes, that's correct.
Let me try the other one.
And also, if you need to know the link was the name of the link was correct. Some people need to have this exemption so that they are allowed to trade and be out on the streets. And the link, what you used before, is to be able to apply for these exemption document. Is a CIPC document. Okay.
Okay.
And at the moment, in the beginning, this is the relief funding. This is for distressed businesses. Scroll a little bit further down, please. Further down. And this is the essential services. This is the health care. Okay, so you are manufacturing already. You have all the permits. You have the certification. You have the accreditation. And you can see here under 2, there are all the products mentioned, what is covered. And IDC will then quite quickly be able to release funding for you for really low interest rate You can see that IDC loan and trade finance facilities is prime plus 1%. I think prime is at the moment. Okay, there's so many. I think it's 6.25, but I'm not 100% sure. It's a really small amount. There's MSEP loan facility where you only pay 2.5% interest rate. Usually South Africans dreaming about these interest rates. Yeah. Idea again behind this is we want to be independent from international manufacturers. We need these things quickly here in South Africa. So let's use the capacities they are already here available, use them wisely, give them quickly some money so that they are able to manufacture these things.
Great. Do you want me to move to another one?
Move up again, then we talk to the, go a little bit further down. Now this is here the relief funding for distressed businesses. And there are also, you're making me dizzy here.
Hang on, sorry, you moved back. This is still distressed businesses, right? But
Yes.
that are within the agro-processing, basic clothing, heavy manufacturing, right?
Yes, this is for all the other typical IDC industries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
So this they would usually finance, and they of course also know here there are now challenging times ahead, and they definitely will take that into consideration, also with a little bit of more favorable interest rate. I think if you go a little bit further down, this says terms of facility. Yes, guarantees, scheme-related concessionary prices, they really try to help and assist. Government is interested, making sure that the economy is not that much harmed and trying to help as much as they can. Whatever you want to apply for, all these COVID-19 disaster relief funds are only for businesses they were able to, they were successful before, okay? If you were struggling close to insolvency or something like this before COVID-19, you will not qualify for any of that. Yeah. You saw that Precious was just here on one of these links up there, apply for funding. IDC also has an online system. Don't click on there. You need to register first. Then they have a couple of pages where you need to fill out all the information. And at the end, they have a list of documentations, what you need to submit, what you can upload into the system. And all government institutions are able to handle applications at the moment. They have their staff working remotely from home and yes, trying to help as much as possible. So we covered healthcare, we covered the trade and industry. You can go a little bit further down. The trade and industry was the second IDC fund.
Okay, great. We're now on DTI.
Yes, I can't see that at the moment. Scroll. Yes, this is also from IDC. That was the distress fund.
Okay, and do you see the one for DTI, the IDC? Okay,
they're working together. Okay, it's administered by the IDC. The next one is the Black entrepreneurs. So NEF also offers loans from 500,000 Rand to 10 million Rand, specifically for Black-owned businesses. Their interest rate is even more favorable than what IDC offers. There's 0% interest rate for the first year, 2.5% for the following years per year, and then you need to be able to repay the loan in 5 years.
Oh, wow.
Okay, and that's also the more information application form. All the links are there. We are not charging for these things. I want to help and make sure that everybody knows where to find things. You see the application form is there from 500,000 to 10 million. There is a click here, and there is the fund brochure up there, where you are able to have a look at it, see what you really need, what they cover, what are their requirements, who can apply for. This is also for businesses, existing businesses in this industry already, seeing opportunities, okay, and using them.
Well, it's quite a lot of requirements, though. I can imagine for small businesses that are actually not even complying basic, how are they actually going to make it?
Yes, that for them, the SME fund is the right fund, okay. These are really for existing manufacturers.
Okay, then let's go back to that. Explain more about the labor and employment one, because I think most people are thinking about this because this is talking to their direct issues with employees.
Okay, so first of all, I just wanted to clarify, I'm definitely not an expert. I'm not a tax consultant. I learned all these things during the last couple of days. If you, as a compliant company, you need to be UIF registered with SARS. You need to be UIF registered also with the Department of Labor. And you need to submit your list of employees also to the Department of Labor. Okay, so I know you from Funding Connection, so we declare all our salaries and wages to our tax consultant. He does then his thing, and then later on I get a nice list, and they said, okay, these are the couple of thousands of rands you please need to pay to SARS. And portion of it is for the tax, what also your employees are paying, okay, but another portion is also for UIF, and then SARS distributes then the portion for UIF to the Department of Labor. Then you can, and if somebody now is unemployed, they can then go to the Department of Labor and claim their UIF. In this crazy times here, nobody can go to the Department of Labor, okay, because we are on lockdown. If everybody who is now on short time or is released temporarily wants to apply one by one on their own in the system, this system will break together, because it was never ever set up to do everything online. South Africa always loved to let people go to the departments and let them apply one by one there. Now they needed to make quickly some amendments, and they ask at the moment the employer to apply with the Department of Labor, with UIF directly as a bundle. For the last application our accountant did was for 79 people at once. You can't let them all go to the Department of Labor and do that one by one, okay? So that's why they have done these things. There's a temporary employee relief scheme. They are just putting money from one pot, making it available for this COVID-19 disaster to help employers and employees. If you want our assistant, like I said before, we don't do that directly. We are working together with the lovely accountant who is experienced, who knows all these things. We just need to double check where you are stuck at the moment. Are you URF registered? Are you URF registered with SARS and Department of Labor? Do you only need to have a claim? And if you say, I want to claim, we will also ask you, do you have these things in place? Okay, before we are even able to assist them anyhow. And then we can say, okay, here, this is what we can do, this is possible. And Precious, you also know me. If I think it's not possible, I'm also straightforward and tell people it makes no sense. Okay, so try that on your own, but don't use our services. Don't waste your money,
Yeah.
because it makes my client not happy. It doesn't make me happy because I can't deliver outstanding services. I like to be straightforward upfront then, and like to highlight, okay, this challenge, if you can overcome that, okay, or try that on your own.
Perfect. Dagmar, can we move on retail and solidarity funds, and also just finishing off on the ones that we have? I see also you did not mention the business partners that was existing, but please articulate, because I know business partners had to be closed because they had actually received quite a big number of applications. But take us through the retail and solidarity fund.
Okay, so this is only for specific retailers. I just wanted to have that here on online, so that people see that there is something available. Same thing, we really need to have a look at it. If you are a small retailer, I can say what we Funding Connection did. As soon as I heard about the lockdown, I contacted my lovely landlady and said, we don't know what's happening. I'm more than happy to pay you at the moment 50%. Is this in order for you? Okay, and we were really lucky. Our landlady came back and said, you know what, we don't even need 50%, pay us 25%. We will even renegotiate the rent after the lockdown. We want you to stay there where you are. Open communication is something what I always encourage everybody to do. It makes your life so much easier instead of just hiding and not paying. Paying only a small amount. Something what I always recommend. It's now maybe a little bit too late, but even now, if you are a retailer, get in contact with your landlord, ask them, okay, what can we do? How can we handle it? How can you assist us? Okay, negotiation is always easier, an open negotiation. And you know, I know sometimes you have a not so lovely landlord or landlady, then you maybe need to be a little bit egoistic, because I evict you at the moment in any case, but I highly recommend open communication. The business partners fund, I haven't mentioned it here because I don't want to get people excited seeing something on our website and then clicking the link and say, oh, now it's closed or not open. I'm always frustrated when I am on other websites and see that all this information is from 3 years ago or something like this. We really try to keep that this page here at the moment up to date. We will check all the links every 2 weeks, every 2 days, sorry, not every 2 weeks, every 2 days, just to make sure that all the links are still in order, because I've seen that some of the links were already moved around and changed. Solidarity fund is more to donate. Okay, so if somebody wants to donate, we also wanted to have, of course, the call to do so here. The Giving for Hope Foundation is the next one, is from the Albarak Bank. Okay, they have at the moment 100 million. They hope to raise more funding for up to 500 million available. Keep in mind, you don't need to be Muslim to be able to apply for this fund. They will not discriminate. They give out a loan for 0% interest rate. I think they've also done an amazing job here. No banking fees, no fees for application, and the repayment period is 12 months. They also have quite a long list of requirements. And what they need is they need some sort of surety. So if you want to apply for 1 million rand, you need to be able to offer them some surety. But keep also in mind, all these funds are called disaster relief fund, okay, to help you to survive, or in some cases to grab opportunities and to thrive. They are not there to replace any missed income. Okay, I have lots of times these conversations on the phone here at the moment. They just really do not look the same after it. And so that is the aim. Yeah, so there's no replacement of missed income or something like this. The last fund, can you still hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, even though I lost you at some point, but I can hear you. I'm just reopening the screen again because we lost. There we go. Are you able to see the screen? You were explaining Giving for Hope Foundation?
Yes, okay. So the Giving for Hope Foundation, they also absolutely amazing, quite quickly were able to set that up. The only challenge is that you need to have some surety, okay? But it is really, it is for, all these funds are for successful businesses. This is not business rescue because you're in trouble before already.
Yes.
Yeah, this is business rescue to help you because you're now affected negatively by this COVID. Okay. So the last one is the tourism relief funding. Oh no, it's not the last one. We still have two here at the moment. Tourism relief funding up to 50,000 rand. If you click the link, it's administered by the Department of Tourism. Ah, she put the wrong link in there. Scroll further down. I hope the link is in there.
I'm scrolling down.
Sorry. Okay, so I will fix that.
And then, right?
Okay, so
same thing. So I think I did have another website that I had opened, which was giving me the some of these funds. I will click on that one. The tourism is Department of Tourism for SME.
Yes.
It's that website. We are going there. Please, guys, just hang on. We've done some little bit of.
I will do that. I will do that after the meeting. It will be fixed.
No problem.
Yeah, so that you have these things.
Yes, it's supposed to be opening. It's a little bit unstable, but it is opening. So you go to Department of Tourism, and you will then get the application, but you will also then get the criteria. Please just take us through that, Dagmar. You are more familiar with it than me.
Okay, so there is an online application form. It is also, first you need to register. Don't even click on this, Precious, because it just gives you, ask you for an email address and your name. And they send you back an email, and then in the second step, you then can apply for funding. Honestly, also their requirements are crazy. If you think that you get a grant of 50,000 rand, it's quite a lot of documentations, what they want from you. UIF registered, DIPC, and I'm sure that most of these smaller bed and breakfast and tour guides don't have these things in place. Okay, but again, I think what they do here at the moment correctly, they push all businesses to be compliant.
Yeah.
And you know, so everybody now all of a sudden, you know, the first task is always, how can I save some money? I don't want to pay tax. I don't want to pay UIF. Let me find some ways to get around it. And out of a sudden, people understand why they need to do these things. So it is for accommodation establishment, for any hospitality and related services, and for travel and related services like tour operators. But it's 50,000 rand. So I always say, try that on your own. That's why we have here the link.
It's so small. It's so small. I don't think. Yeah, what are you gonna do with 50,000 rand? But anyway, I guess they're trying.
Like I said, they are trying, and it's a grant. Okay, it's not a loan.
Yeah.
And you know, sometimes it is just to keep you really basic afloat for the next, I don't know, for 2-3 months. And let's be honest, the tourism industry will be terribly affected. You know, so because who will travel even afterwards? How many people are willing to do that? So yes, the 50,000 rand is not really helping. I think everybody really needs to sit back, think about great business ideas, and maybe regroup.
Definitely, this does call for real look at your strategy and your business model, but also, are you even in the right business? So because it is going to change quite a bit after this. But now let's go to Oppenheimer Fund. Tell us more about that, Dagmar.
Okay. So the Oppenheimer Fund is administered by all the commercial banks. As far as I know, the 4 big banks are at the moment involved, although I know that they also try to involve all the smaller banks too. FNB, I can only say what they are doing is they have a couple of rules and regulations. You see that here. They offer some payment holidays for your loans, also for your home loans, for your private and your business. Okay. What I can say is, if you need this, use it. If you don't need it, please don't use it, because usually what happens, you have some holidays for a couple of months. That means that you need to pay even longer for your outstanding debt. Okay.
Yes, the debt is actually, you end up paying quite a bit because the time it's get extended. It's also capitalizing your interest on it. Okay. Dagmar, there were other questions that we had, but there's quite a lot of questions that people have asked. Would you please start reading through the questions? I will stop sharing and then just start answering those questions. I will also work with you on them.
Do you know that I don't see them?
You don't see them? Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm on my own here.
Sorry. What you can do, you can copy them, read the first one, and then you copy them and put them here to share with everybody or with panelists.
Absolutely. Let me just do that. I'm going to copy all the questions. Apologies, guys. I'm copying even your names then, because that's, it doesn't allow me. Hang on. It means I need to just copy this at the... Okay, I'm gonna have to read them. Okay.
But, Precious.
Yes.
Try that one by one. Copy the first question.
Yeah, I am trying to copy the first question. The copy and paste is actually gray, and that is the first time I'm seeing it. I think the security features within Zoom have really been, but I will read the question out and then we can discuss it. So this person wants to find out that if you're in construction sector, what financial assistance is there for you? There seems to be quite a stream of funding, but they are very much kind of like sector specific. Can you actually assist?
Okay, so keep in mind, usually I definitely would need to have a little bit more information.
So this guy is in construction. Out of the funds that you have been exposed in, Dagmar, is any of those focusing mainly in construction?
Yes, so what I'm not too sure if you all can hear me here now.
No, we can still hear you.
And I can't see anything.
I'm not too sure. Let me see.
Are you back, Precious?
Can you see my screen with a chart?
Yes. Share
Great.
your screen. Great idea. That's a clever idea.
Okay, great. So you can read the question. He's basically asking, is there construction? I think for people that are in sectors which are not within essential services, you're probably not going to be a priority in most of these funds. But what you should then be looking at, consider looking at Oppenheimer Fund and Solidarity Fund, but also work with your bank to assist you in releasing you in some of the responsibility. And the last one, for people who are also in that same space, look at the UIF on how you can apply for additional support. Next question, Dagmar. Dagmar?
Next yes, question. I'm here. Can you hear me? I would like to add something. Okay, so just in general, I think there's 3 steps you need to think about. Okay, so we are only talking here about 1 step, but I still want to mention the 2 others. Number 1 is I think you need to go through all your private and business expenses and see if you can't cut down. Okay, something what I also did. Number 2 is also, of course, to think, is there anything you can offer? And if not, can you come up with a totally different business idea to help you? Because we all don't know what will happen after after we are all allowed to walk around again. And the third part is definitely here to have a look at external support and funds. Okay, if you are in construction, I personally definitely would have a look at the SME fund.
Yeah, I'm typing. Go ahead, Dagmar. SME fund, what else?
Oopsie. Like my landlady was absolutely supportive, offering us, okay, you only need to pay, I think, 25% of your usual rent. Does it mean that we don't need to pay our rent, the other 75%? No, of course not. We will need to pay that later. But it gave me a little bit of better sleep, because I knew that it will help me in the long run. Okay. And no, not in the long, at the moment. So, and private sector is of course also offering some support, because the commercial banks have a couple of offers. Like I said, the Albarak Bank offers some funds. As soon as we hear something, and I'm sure there will be also other funds still coming up, we will offer this and add this to our one website. Okay. Let me quickly see. I see here some questions in the chat. This is here from Kilitso. Sorry. How much does Funding Connection charge to assist with applications? It depends on which application you need. Let's just say for the SME fund, to give you an idea, you need to have registration. The registration we charge 575 rand. Then you need the application. For this application, you need a 6-month cash flow forecast and a company profile, and compiling all the documentations, filling out the forms for you and submitting. For the second step, we charge 4,900 rand. Yeah? Just for you to get an idea. Our usual price for this, if you would charge full price for cash flow forecast, business profile and support to apply for funding, it would be 9,900 rand. Yeah, so we really slashed the prices dramatically to be able to assist. Is this an appropriate time to submit for new business funding? Yes, Joanna, always. Okay, the only chance for South Africa to do this only bruised, okay, is definitely if there are new businesses willing to take the risk and saying, I can do that. And let me tell you one thing is, if you can thrive in a recession, and there will be a recession, okay, do you have an idea how much you will thrive if the economy grows again?
Dagmar, I don't know where you are. We need, which questions are you answering? Where are you?
If you go down, there are some chat. In the chat, there are some questions.
I'm on questions. Can we address the questions and then we're going to move to the chat? Can you see the questions? I have shared the question on Paul question is asking, what are the sum of the funding opportunity for someone like me who has been in business since 2018, but I don't have permanent employees. I sometimes outsource my services and work with freelancers. I do require working capital because I have expenses such as office rent. What do you say, my dear?
Okay, so if you have office rent, I mentioned that before, speak to your landlord or your landlady, yeah? Be proactive, talk to them. If you were always paying on time and there was no problem, most of them are really, really helpful. Other way to do is talk to your commercial bank, yeah? Ask for payment holidays, or I don't know, if you're paying for your car, if you have a home loan, or any other. I think even if you pay these Pushini cards or what else is out there, you can ask for payment holidays. Yeah, use all these small little bits and pieces. They will help then all together. There is nothing from government. Like I said, they want to protect employers with employees so that they are not suffering. Yeah?
I think what people also need to keep in mind is that as much as there is a funding, it's a funding that must still.
Okay. Looks like that the internet from Precious is really, really
it's
crazy.
Quite bad. I'm bad.
Let me quickly see.
I was saying that one of the things people have to be clear about is that as much as there is funding, you must understand your business as of February 2020 must have been sustainable. And most people, when you look at their businesses were not sustainable. Or what this epidemic has made is just to make it worse for your business. So you will not therefore get funding. The funding that is there is more of a relief for you, but you must be sustainable. And that is the common I've seen throughout on some of these. Dagmar, can we finish more questions? There's so many questions people are asking. I don't even think we're gonna be able to finish all of them. I will request my team to copy and paste them so that we can answer them at a later stage. But I think some of them are quite generic. Dagmar, would you be able to run through them quick?
Yes. Okay, so what I can see here, the next one is definitely, do the financiers do a credit check? Yes, of course. Okay, like I said, you need to be in good standing. You need to be profitable and sustainable. Otherwise, It sounds harsh, sorry for being so straightforward, but otherwise you're not worth being saved. Okay, it makes no sense for them to give you now a loan when they know already you are not able to repay it afterwards. Yeah. So this is really, really important. And something what I also always do with my coachees, I always tell them, be prepared for the worst, you know, and I'm sure, Precious, you do the same thing as for your private expenses. You need to have minimum 3 months savings to be able really to make sure that if something is not working, and specifically if you're a one woman or one man show, you are sick, you have no income. So you need to make plans for this. I can't see any other questions. I only can see question number 2 here.
There is question from Dion. He's saying, how can I access money to pay company baki and business running? I'm not registered with UIF. Is this a problem? He says, I run a business on my own. Although my wife is a partner of my business, I have no income at the moment.
Yes, but if you are not registered with UIF, you don't qualify for any of these government funds.
Again, yes, you are not.
You need to think about other ways. Go to your landlord, speak to your commercial bank, and see what they can do. And then the other thing is, of course, do you think there will be business after the lockdown? And if not, then I always don't understand. This is now the time. I've spoken to lots of people and they think, yeah, I have now 5 weeks holidays. That's not holidays. If you are a business owner and you can't work, this is your time to regroup.
Definitely.
Okay, make sure that you have then some opportunities.
Dagmar, the next question that is being asked, question 1, can employees claim even if the employer owes the UIF? And the next question is that who can assist the owner to pay the rent? I think you've already answered that, but I think even the first one you've already answered, Dagmar. Is there anything you want to add? You can't claim for a UIF if you are not compliant. You must be fully compliant.
It's an insurance system. If you don't pay in, you don't get anything out.
Yes, you don't pay, you then don't get the benefit. You can't have it both ways. You decided not to pay for whatever reasons, and therefore you won't therefore have a benefit.
Yes.
I'm just typing those ones, Dagmar. I'm moving along. There's another question. How do I qualify for funding if I am a permanent resident but not a citizen? I mean, for all the ones that I read, all of them, they want South African citizen. There isn't anything for non-South African citizen. Dagmar, can you answer?
I know that, so I totally agree. You are not able to apply for government funding. They are only for South African citizens. And I'm not too sure what the Alberec Bank does, to be honest. So that is something.
Dagmar, I saw that ABSA, I don't know if other banks are providing a relief, but ABSA, I will share the link just now, has several reliefs that are related to their customers. Maybe this person can look into that. But I have read through most of the government, they are very specific to a point that they are saying, even when you employ people, your employment in that company must be at least 70. Hello? The employment must be exactly, hello? The employment must be at least 70% of South Africans.
That's correct, yes.
So I'm of a view that that is the only way. But maybe also because he is non-South African, also consider looking at what the World Bank is doing. But the World Bank will be dealing with countries. They may not have funds for individual companies. So I honestly look at the banks and also start assessing the expenses if they actually justify any additional support. Now, there is another question. What would be the charge to fill the forms who are overwhelmed by these many questions? I think you've already answered that one. But also we can ask them to go to the website. Dagmar?
Yeah, okay. Yes.
There's another question. Can you see the other question?
Okay, so what I can see here also in the chat, there are lots of people saying your internet goes up and down. Let me see here. If you need to have any other charges, email us, contact us. I will again post here my link so that you can all see that, all panelists and attendees. And then you find here our contact details. I would like to do that individually. There are so many different options what we offer. We really try to pick you up, and we really try to only charge you for the things you really need.
They are saying that my network and internet is going up and down. Don't worry, we will send you guys the video of this, of the record. We are going to try to answer all the questions. That is why we extended it to make sure it's a 2-hour webinar. There is other questions though that are in here. Can you see them, Dagmar?
Yes, I can see for the new business funding, are there any organizations or institutions that you may recommend? Are there any COVID-19 plans that are applicable for these new businesses? No. Okay, because you need to be in business and to be hit by the COVID-19 virus so that you are able to apply for the relief funds. If you want to start a new business, that is not a problem. We've spoken to all the funding institutions before the lockdown. We are still able to apply online for funding. Some institutions are a little bit better set up than others, but we are in daily contact with all the funding institutions in any case. Keep in mind, all my team members are working from home. And you are also, that's why we know that, so you can email them, or there are some possibilities to submit online. Let me quickly see, there's another one. Best funding option to use for businesses that have pivoted to now supplying mask sanitizers, now that our normal businesses cannot operate during lockdown. The challenge is if you want now to supply masks, sanitizers, hospital beds, and you haven't done that before, you usually need to have some sort of certification. Okay, so only because you say there's sanitizer in it, maybe it is not according to standard, and you are not able to sell it even to the hospital. If it is like this, I've talked to IDC already. They say it would be a normal application, and it would be not a COVID-19 application. Yeah. Let me quickly. Yeah.
Dagmar,
Okay. So
one second. I think Derek did come through, and I didn't see him because we were busy. I don't even see him on the panelist now. I'm not too sure where it is. Let me just. I can't find him. Derek is not appearing on here on the list. Tim Obonolo, would you please just try to get hold of him? And when he comes, please, can you send me a WhatsApp? Dagmar, let's go back to answering some of the questions here. Kekelezo is asking, she's in the retail. Can you see the question? On the questions, I've shared the questions. Kekeloso is asking, retail is not in just malls or small centers apply. Is there legal resources that I can use to negotiate with the landlord?
No, you just go there. Don't. You know what? Worst case scenario is what they can say. No, you need to pay the full rent. If I remember that correctly, and please, I'm not an attorney, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not allowed to give any advice here. I think at the moment nobody can evict you, okay, because you haven't paid. Just
yes,
to protect.
I think there is. It's just that my understanding was mainly relating to residential property. I do not know if that also applied to businesses, but I do not think there is any landlord in his right mind that is actually not gonna listen to you when you come and negotiate or ask for support.
Yes, I totally agree. And you know what? Risk is, and you have these crazy landlords, okay? I don't say the word I'm having in my mind because I had some of these before in Germany. They would not support you. So you have nothing to lose, you have only to win. And the relationship with your landlord as a business owner should be one of mutual respect. And you show them respect if you talk to them and say, hey, we are really, we are in trouble here. We haven't had any income. What you can do? Yeah. So you don't really just go there as a person and say, from human being to human being, not with any legal agenda. That's what I would do. And I'm in business now, not only in South Africa, but also before, for a couple of decades, and that's they had some bad luck with some landlords, yes, but most of them are really you know what, they will be lucky if after the lockdown you are still there, you are still able to pay your rent, and they keep you as a tenant. Keep that in mind. Yeah.
Great. I think you've already answered this question relating to the loan and also the credit scores. Of course, they look, before they even look at your business, they look at you. Remember, you are the director that is actually making the decision in that business. So in your personal capacity, if your credit score didn't look so good, they will then assess, take that credit score and apply it also onto the business, because you are the same person who's making those decisions.
Yes,
so
yes, of course.
It's just,
hey, you've proven before how serious you take paying back a loan. So, and if you showed that you are not serious about paying back a loan, it makes it definitely more difficult. I know, you don't need to say, oh, but I had bad luck. I all know these things, but this is how financiers will see that. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
There is so much questions, Dagmar. I'm not even sure if we're gonna be able to finish all of them, but
still time. Just go one after the other. I don't mind. I'm patient here, and I know there are lots of questions.
Yeah, good. So Dagmar, someone is asking, what is the best funding option to use for a business that is pivoted now to supplying mask sanitizers, etc., now that our normal business cannot operate during lockdown? I think you've already answered this. Yes, you can supply those, but there's quite a lot of requirements, minimum requirements that you must comply with before you can provide those things. I think some products are even need SAPS approval. Dagmar?
Yes, that's correct. Yes,
I think you've already answered this. So this was answered live. We've already answered about our charging fees. Someone is saying, Precious, training and facilitation. We sent a list for cancellation, but our landlord insists or that were responsible for 3 months while they are looking for a new tenant, is this contract didn't specify, this contract did not specify this. I think on those, look, Toizo, look at your arbitration when there's a disagreement between yourself and the landlord. Look at the arbitration clause. What avenues does it give you? And because from that, you can then go through that process of having a dispute. But also there is, I think there is a group of property landlords that has been built up. Have a look, because they are also making certain decisions, and these decisions are changing on a daily basis. I personally do not think the landlord is right that you are responsible for 3 months. Not unless your cancellation was saying it's 3 months and it doesn't want to budge. I also think, look at what is happening in your industry, look at the property sector. I think there has been some sort of leverage that is being worked on, and apply that same route. Dagmar, do you have any suggestion?
No, like I said, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know the rules and regulations here for lease agreements. So the only tip what I can always give is try to communicate, be as open as possible, and find some solutions. And if this is not possible, yes, I think your tip was good.
So there is another one, said, hello Dagmar, I got an approval for SAFT, but they will only pay for employees. Would you be in a position to find out if they will consider funding that will be inclusive for employers and the business as well? I am not too sure what Sakile is asking Dagmar. What is he saying? Is he asking for other expenses to be paid?
Precious, and my problem is your connection is really crazy. I can't hear each and every word. So if you want us, what I understood is you wanted us to follow up somewhere. We can do that. We charge for it. Otherwise, I put in the comments already here my email address. If there's anything where you say, here, please, I need some help. And it's really individually, I'm more than happy to have a look at it. All our first assessment is free of charge in any case. Tumi just asked me if I offer some activities, because then some support or coaching and mentoring, because they need to reshape and rebirth their business. We can do that. That is not a problem. Contact me via email address, because I think these questions are too individual to be really relevant to everybody who is watching here at the moment.
That is true. So we will then maybe look at the rest of these. Can you go through some of the generic questions that I had asked? If there isn't that you have not answered, I think you have answered most of them in one go. But what I wanted you to express is just maybe to find out how many clients have you assisted, what has been the response, but also what is the turnaround time?
Okay, so usually, let me tell you, usually the turnaround time, if you apply for funding with government institutions, is they say 2 to 3 months. I like always to be safe and say 3 to 6 months, okay? I know they can't afford it at the moment. I know that TERS is already paid out the first applications. The challenge is they just pay out an amount and nobody knows for whom they paid what. They have their some own calculations. Nobody really understands and knows. I haven't heard. I know that we have the first confirmation received for SME applications. I know that, but nothing is paid out there. NEF promises 2 weeks after submission to pay out. I think that's absolutely amazing. I don't know how they do that, but they're only able to do that because it is an established company, it's compliant, and they can do that really, really quickly. IDC has a similar payout terms, and they will be also quite fast and quick. They obviously have mainstreamed a couple of assessments. I haven't heard anything about rejections at the moment. I see here the question 9. The reasons for rejection, I can tell you already, not compliant.
That's just such an obvious one. So which means you must be compliant for you to meet with these benefits that are there.
Yeah.
Now, let's understand the timelines then, Dagmar.
Okay, so TES is obviously quite quick. And I think the first payouts are already done. That means they have done that in 1 or 2 weeks. That is for the UIF application. I haven't heard anything from SME applications at the moment, the CFA fund, okay. I think the problem there is also that they were quite overwhelmed with applications. I think after the first week, 81,000 applications. Just for all you to understand how much they are getting in. And I promise you they try their best. I promise you. I've been on the other side in Germany. I've done that for a small little organization there. And you need to tick all the boxes, cross all the T's, dot all the I's. And you can't rush it. Keep in mind, everybody works at home. They can't just go to their manager and ask, what do I do here? What do I do there? So it will take a little bit of time. They will see that they do that as quick as possible. NEF and IDC do these applications in 2 weeks. That's what they promised. Okay, just for you to understand.
Okay. We now on towards the last question is that I think you've already indicated that your website has tried to consolidate and you're updating this information on daily basis, on 2 days interval to make sure that the information.
Yes, go to our website. I see, yeah. Yes, Precious already disappeared here. Go to our website. We will keep that updated all the time. Okay. As soon as I hear something new comes up, I will add that. As soon as I hear something is closed down, we will just take it away so that whoever is on our specific COVID-19 funding website knows these are the funds available at the moment. Yeah. Okay. And like I said, we are answering questions. We have 4 people full-time only answering questions at the moment.
Perfect. And I think what I have found with your team, their response time is quite quick in terms of alerting you of what is happening and when they can actually be able to come back. Dagmar, it seems like you have answered some of the questions quite a bit. Is there anything that you're picking up on the chat that maybe we have not discussed?
Let me quickly. So I have nothing here. Okay, so there was somebody who was asking regarding here they want to supply masks and sanitizers, and NEF, IDC, maybe even CFA would be all 3 possibilities for you, depending also how much funding you need. You will need a business plan, definitely. If you give me a little bit more information, also has to do sometimes with the shareholding of the business. You need to have offtake agreements or orders, otherwise they will not finance that at the moment. Katlego, is this we answered this already? Yes. I think, you know what, I can't see here anything. Do you have any other questions for me, Precious?
Yes, let me try. So others are, because I was struggling with my connection here. I'm gonna stop sharing this now and try to again. Someone is saying I missed some information on NEF. We will post it. Sipo will post it for you in the second when we are finished, but we'll also consolidate based on questions to make sure that all the questions are answered. Dagmar, I'm gonna share the screen on the questions here. Can you read those open questions, Dagmar?
Okay, here is question number 11. Is a platform where all information is consolidated. That's the question I
that
can
is what
see.
you are finding. Sorry, that shouldn't be. You should be seeing questions in relation to the questions that are being asked on Q&A.
Nope.
Okay, let me try again. Okay.
Oh, is it on Facebook?
I have no idea. With everything the fact that I've been disconnected and on and off, I'm probably have been off Facebook long time ago. So we will see how that goes. Let me just shut down and then I'm gonna.
Okay, what I will do, which page did you post it on Facebook? On your personal?
No, I don't even know. Hang on. I'm trying to, there is so much errors I'm getting now. Did I lose?
Sorry, I'm just showing that I see if I can get here on here. Okay, that there is no live webinar here. No. It's still in the middle of, let me quickly see.
Okay, so Dagmar, I can't even go through the stuff. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find out from my team, because there are still questions that are still on the Q&A, if they can actually go through Q&A.
I don't mind, we still have half an hour, so we just take our time. We do what we can here.
Yeah, we are not in control of the network. I wish we were though. So, okay, so Dagmar, I'm trying to actually now open up the questions. Okay. Hello?
Yes, I'm there.
Perfect. I'm going to stop sharing. Dagmar, what I wanted us to then just go through is these questions. I'm going to share now and tell me, are you able to see my share?
I can see your beautiful desert, yes.
You can't see the screen for my share on the question and answers?
Nope.
Okay, can I read the questions then?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Can't you copy, Precious?
Yes.
Can't you copy them and then copy them into the webinar chat?
Yeah, let me try.
You're always breaking up and it makes it a little bit difficult for everybody to understand.
Let me try. I'm gonna, you know what they've done with this security features that
I know.
I mean, 1 second, this was the easiest system to use. All of a sudden, I can't copy and paste questions. So
Okay.
I'm gonna have to read them loud for you.
Please.
Okay, so I will stop sharing and then I will just read them loud. Nyamega is asking, for retailers, what are the requirements in order to qualify for the funds?
I can't hear you, Precious. Oh no, she's disappearing again.
No,
yes.
I'm here. I was saying, Nyamega was asking, what are the requirements in order to qualify for the funds if you are a retailer?
If they're a retailer, same rules and regulations. Registered company with CIPC, tax clearance certificate, UIF registration. I think there are some specific funds for spaza shops. We will still add that to the list. I haven't found that now. But for SME fund, same question.
Yes.
Okay.
So I saw that Department of Small Business actually has quite a lot of information on spaza shop, which are actually fall under category of retailers. So have a look at that first also. and to see if you actually do qualify. Even there, they also have several requirements. There is also another question. I think we have answered this. We answered this live. Dagmar, okay, we also answered this at Dan. So why are these questions still appearing?
I don't know.
We're done. We've done all of these questions. This was answered live. It was done. I think we're finished with the main question. The person that asked another question that was difficult to discuss, maybe we can discuss it now, was that Matsingwane was saying, we don't know how this situation will actually be after COVID. What if the company qualifying for funding and failing to pay back in the future? The situation we're facing can be better or can be worse off. I think the person is right.
I totally agree. Okay, so that is, most of these funds are loans. Please keep that, be aware of it. These are not grants. So really apply for something where you are thinking that you are able to repay the loan. That's why I mentioned before 3 steps. Yeah. So have all 3 aspects, cover them. Number 1, think about where you can save money. Okay. So what can you what expenses can you reduce? Have a look at your private. I personally went through our bank account statements and just checked what is really luxury, what don't we need, and I just canceled. Okay, and I canceled even one of my credit cards. It was nice to have, but not really emergency for me, and saves me some money. Have a look at your rental expenses. Can you downsize? Be really brutal, honest, yeah. And that's definitely number 1 what I would do. Number 2 is, that's what we are doing here at the moment. We see what support is available. Are you able to qualify for any grants, or are you also able to get loans? But please make sure you feel comfortable that after the lockdown you will be able to repay it. Because I totally agree with this one person, you don't want to be in more trouble afterwards than before. Yeah. And then the third thing is, definitely use this time wisely. You still have a minimum a week to do so, and think about what business idea fits in the new environment. And that also shows if you are a successful entrepreneur or not. Are you able to okay, I'm tired, so let me quickly say, are you able to go with changing environment?
Concern, because either or, you're either going to need to relook at your business model, but also maybe look at diversifying within your expenses and your arrangement, because at the end of the day, if there's no money coming in, that business is not going to make it.
Yeah. And a tip for you to just come up with ideas is, have a look, who are your clients? Okay, and because it's so much easier, you build up some relationships with your existing clients. What else do they need now? Yeah, can you offer something what they really need? Don't try to go now and jump into a totally different industry. Try to start building up relationships with customers from scratch. Yes, I think here, Precious, just think about what you can do to reduce your personal expenses, relook at insurance fixed costs, prioritize which things are not negotiated, apply support, but think about long-term effect to the business. Absolutely, yes. Okay, and then come up with some crazy new ideas. You know?
Absolutely. I think the main, I think what any natural disaster do, it closes opportunities in other industry, but it also opens opportunities in other industries. Be open-minded. Don't be stuck on your old ideas of how these things need to actually work. Be open to actually just so that you dust yourself quick. Don't sink into thinking everything that I've worked for is now going to tatters. No, there's nothing that is going to go on waste.
No, because you still have all your expertise and experience.
Yeah.
You know, you will never ever lose this. And it gives you great opportunities. I'm Precious knows that I'm absolutely fan of all this online marketing, the possibilities these online new world. It's not a new world anymore, but this online world is offering. We are selling so many books. We are selling so many online courses, and it gives us a couple of £1,000 each month, and I don't need to do anything anymore for it. I set that up once, and most of them is just passive income, you know? And most of you will be able to do something similar, and it's not rocket science. It is not. It takes time and effort, yes. But if you want to earn a couple of £1,000 each and every month for later on doing nothing, you need to put some work upfront in there.
Yeah, I think that is very important. I think most entrepreneurs, how they have built their business, it depends on them waking up every day. What this situation has really presented is that if your business cannot operate in different form in terms of your distribution channels, you are really going to be stuck. You're really not going to have any money coming through. So really look at your business model in relation to your distribution channel. Start really looking at your strategic alliances and seeing how you can actually capitalize on that. Because I think initially when this thing was happening, I'm in training and development, I thought, oh no, I will actually not have any income. I do meetings, board meetings. So there's nothing that's going to come through because there is no social contact. But because the businesses, some of the businesses that I work in were agile enough, we have had meetings, Zoom meetings that are online, Microsoft Teams, but we also have been able to do some coaching and session, even training that was fully online without actually physical. So while I'm operating at a lesser capacity than I will have, there will still be something coming through. So I think you're gonna need to figure out how to foolproof your business, but how to automate also, look at your processes and see what are the things that you can automate. Dagmar is right. I think building that marketing online and stuff, it takes a lot of time, a lot of testing. I mean, some of the things in my side are still not done. They are not done right. There's still quite a lot, but at least we are ready to be able to sell online than to just wait for you to have social contact. Guys, I will allow you guys to raise your hands. You can raise your hand for any people that want to actually contribute or add more. I think we've tried to answer as many questions. We are going to prepare questions and answers and email that as a presentation, but we will also include all the source and the information. Good thing Dagmar has actually consolidated everything in her website. You don't need to go in too many websites, but also that information is kept checked and live every 2 days. Guys, I'm looking, is there anyone who wants to raise a question? Someone is saying the audio is cutting. Yes, the audio is cutting. It's the network, and we can't do much about it, but we're gonna send the recording for you. Don't worry, everyone who is registered will actually get the recording. Dagmar, do you wanna add anything? What are the things that you wish you knew prior to this?
What I wish you know what, I think this is an absolutely exceptional circumstances at the moment. I'm an economist, okay, so and usually there are only two things happen in an economy. Either way there is no demand, okay, or there is no production. Out of a sudden, worldwide, it's not only one or two countries, it's really affecting worldwide, both is breaking away. I've spoken a couple of days ago with somebody who is usually importing laptops from abroad. And he said because China was not able to produce, they haven't really received any new stock since February already. You know, all of a sudden you can't even buy anything anymore, some specific things. So this is of course really unique situation. I always like to see things as an opportunity. Okay, think about, okay, this happens for me, it doesn't happen against me. And as soon as you focus your thoughts on this happens for me, what can I do? What does it teach me? What do I need to do? And what opportunities are out there? That's something where I personally would concentrate on.
I think you are right. You're definitely right. I think what this has done, especially the fact that it came from China, and China is the main producer of, currently in South Africa, we are importing everything. It then means that we now need to also have alternative suppliers in other countries so that we can be able to get a constant supply of our products and services. But as South Africans, I think we also need to be thinking about self-reliance. I think we have been depending too much on other countries and also this importing because our costs are too high. We really need to rethink about that. There is some information that I wanted just to share. I was trying to find one of our participants here is an accountant. Guys, we're gonna have another follow-up similar arrangement. Oh no, did I lose everyone again?
No, you're still there.
I'm still there. Oh, thank goodness.
Yes, you're still there, no worries.
Thank you. So what I wanted to say is that we're going to do a follow-up of this. You have highlighted one of the key areas where most entrepreneurs are stuck at is the compliance. We will then go through the generic compliance that the government is asking and looking for. And we're here to support in any way. We will send as much information even for you to prepare for that. And we will also focus on our emails. Dagmar, I will also be sharing your emails that you are sending, I think, every 2 days to everyone to just also to subscribe to your website so that they can get as much information on what is it that you are actually working on when it comes to assisting entrepreneurs for funding.
Yes, yeah. Go to our website. I shared a couple of times the link. There's, if you scroll down underneath, there's the buttons, subscribe to our newsletter. I know we are sending out lots of information at the moment, and I always try to mention on top of it what's really included, so you don't need to open everything, but if you think it's interesting for you, then you can open it. Yeah.
Yes, I also would like to say that I think entrepreneurs are they're just afraid of going through. They always complain that it's too much information. It is important as an entrepreneur to go through that information. You're not wasting time now driving around or you can actually dedicate time to look at that information so that you are able to know and understand it, so that you don't send your application to the wrong platform. But also there is some sort of executive summary that I came across. This was in one of the platform I was at, where they were basically just sharing the executive summary of what is out there. Dagmar, I'm not sure if you can be able to actually see this. Are you able to see it?
Nope.
Nope. Okay, let me try again. Let me share this one. Can you see now?
Yes, lovely.
Perfect. So this is almost like it's an executive summary to give, so that when you then go to individual item, you will already know which one do you actually apply. But for you to be able to do that, you must first understand the overall, what's the purpose of the fund and who qualifies, so that you don't go to the nitty-gritties. So maybe this will also assist. We will also share this with you guys. It was prepared by fraserconsulting.co.za. I will also share their link. And I think this is what you guys need, so that you know then which one you need to read more information. You don't need to read all information that is out there. Read the one that is relevant to you. There's someone here on the chat that has posted on the chat. Oh, someone saying thank you. Thank you, guys. Please vote. We are doing a poll before you go. We're still just accepting questions, and we'll also allow people to actually talk so that we can take as much concerns that you guys have. And we understand, I think for me, what I was feeling the other week was that it actually challenged your mindset. It challenged your mental health situation, which we normally neglect as entrepreneurs. Your state of mind, then actually your finances. As for me, I think if you can master that, you can master your pocket in relation to finances.
Yes, I totally agree. And there's one thing what I would like to also say, it's not only South Africa depending too much on China. I think all the pharmaceutical medications are done in China. I know Germany is complaining about that. And I think you shouldn't think about importing it from other countries. South Africa must think about what we can manufacture here. Okay. And everybody is also complaining about the exchange rate. I think to euros, it's 1 to 20. And I think when I came into this country, was at 1 to 8. But that also means that manufacturing here in South Africa products will be competitive to products from China. And China manufactures products ridiculous cheap. I've worked for 6 weeks in China. I know how they treat employees. They work for 6 days a week, 7 days a week, sometimes sleep in the factory. You don't want this environment for anybody. So, and I think lots of people are more than willing to pay maybe a little bit more for something, knowing it is made in their country now. So China kicked themselves out of lots of trades, I assume.
Yeah, I think if there's any opportunities, we need to actually really look into that and start and build up the capacity for us to be able to do that. There's someone here who wants to talk. Please go ahead. I've just allowed you to talk. Unmute yourself. Okay, there are people who have their hands up, but just remember to unmute yourself also. I am trying on my side to unmute you. Please go ahead and talk. I think you are on now. Obuleng?
Hello.
Hi.
I hope you can hear me.
We can hear you, Dagmar.
The question that I want to ask, because we have a different industry, and some industries are going to be severely affected due to what we are going through as a country, particularly talking for myself in the events industry and marketing. So in such instance, maybe in industries such as this, because look at things, you see that the lockdown might continue for longer, and this will affect us severely financially. What will be other measures which can maybe be put in place so that as much as we are suffering financially, but the business continues? Because even looking at the financing of government, they are looking at certain industries. So I think that's what I want you to engage. Hello?
Yes, no, we're here. Thank you so much for your question. Dagmar, do you want to give it a bash? I think I do have some ideas also.
Yeah, like I said before, use this time wisely. Think about, okay, so if you are in the event industry, you organize conferences, figure out how Zoom is working, offer online conferences. Let me tell you one thing, because now the whole world is forced to use all these online tools. They figure out how it's working. I'm not too sure about all of you. I personally enjoy that. I'm here in Durban. I don't need to travel. We can quickly come together, do a workshop for 2 hours like this, and try if you can go into this direction. If you are in marketing and you're really good with marketing, specialize in one of these marketing strategies. If you would ask me which one, I would highly recommend Facebook, because on Facebook you find most industries. Facebook is really, really good way to do advertising. Learn how to do that, get new skills. We pay, I think, 50% of the normal Facebook prices than before the lockdown. So for us and even Google, but concentrate only on one. Think about who you want to assist, who's your ideal client, and then say, okay, all the small little retailers, or concentrate on hairdressers, and help them with their Facebook ads.
Thank you, Dagmar. You just took out my idea on my mouth. I should have never allowed you to talk.
Yes, no.
I think there is no other. Look at diversifying. You already understand the events and marketing. Move then to digital marketing. There's several services that you can offer there. There's website designing, there's graphic designing, there's search engine optimization. There is a whole list. There is ads management, social media management, creating of content. You are the one who actually should be selling our businesses, but we end up doing it because you guys are chasing big monies. Start looking at building your profile from a small pool, and then as you grow, people are saying thank you. Remember, a thank you is what? Is money in your bank account. Thank you is just an exchange for the service that has been rendered well. So just remember that. My suggestion for you, learn a new skill during this time. Don't sit and wait and think my business is dying. No, your businesses might be dying, but you are not dying. Then start thinking and asking yourself, there's so many platforms for free courses, for understanding, and yet it's gonna need a lot of effort, and you're gonna make a lot of mistakes too. But all I can say to you is that you're gonna have to try and then build yourself up. I'm gonna allow Pumla to talk. Thank you so much, Dagmar, for that suggestion.
Hi, good evening, ladies, and good evening, everyone else.
Hi.
Hi, Pumla.
Thank you so much for the very informative session.
Pleasure.
Mine is really it's more of a frustration than anything, because my company, we comply in basically everything that has been mentioned here. And I have submitted, Dagmar, you spoke about the CFA funding for SMMEs. Yeah. I have submitted everything that is required, but I have not had any response from CFA. Their telephones are just ringing off the hook. So basically my question to you would be, how would you guys be able to assist me going forward with the application, or is there a way where you can lead me to?
No, Pumla, I totally understand that. I mentioned before, I think after a couple of days, they had 81,000 applications in.
Yeah, I heard that.
So CIFA is working, the managers all have their own laptop, they are working from home. They maybe all have these internet issues we all have here. They're trying their best. It goes usually through stages from first person is checking if everything is compliant, the next person is then checking other details. And I think they are just overwhelmed at the moment with 81,000 applications. I'm sure there are minimum 100 at the moment. If you
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I understand all of that. I'm just, my frustration is that, I was hoping that somebody, because it's been over 2 weeks now, I was hoping that at least somebody would have come back to me to say they've received the documents and they're reviewing. It's just dead quiet, nothing.
I know. Keep also, Pumla, usually if you submit anything specifically online or via email, they usually send you, there's a system in place that automatically is sent an email, thinks we received it.
That's my frustration. I haven't received anything.
Pumla, they did this, setting these things up in 3 days.
Is it?
Okay. Yes. Nobody knew before that there would be Corona coming. So all of a sudden, they made a decision. I said that before, government reacted really quickly. They had 5 or 6 funds out of a sudden up and running. And keep in mind, not only up and running, websites out there, online application forms out there, setting up all the back end. Do you have an idea how hard the IT departments everywhere worked?
I can imagine.
And it is now one small little, please, I received your application email missing. Okay, they had too many others. The pages were down, and in the beginning, because the server was overwhelmed with applications, all these things. And you have a proof in your email. In any case, you have submitted it. Okay, so give them a little bit of time. Precious, do you have any other idea? As soon as we hear something here from our side, we will also, again, I'm also getting lots of questions about this. We will post this online. I know that my applications department said she was luckily able to get hold of somebody and said, please give us some time. We are drowning here. Okay, that's what I can tell you.
Yeah, Ma'am Vulane, do you mind if I send you an email off this platform and we can chat, or even you, Dagmar, it's fine. One of you ladies, or chat to both of you off this platform.
We are available to assist in any way. But also what I wanted to say was that, are you one of CIFA's clients?
You're disappearing.
Pumla, are you a client with CIFA? Have you received any of their services?
No, I haven't.
So that was another thing. When you start analyzing some of the information that I have seen, they will be prioritizing first the people that are their clients so that they are able to push those through first, because those will be the quickest. They will then, their phase 2, my understanding was that they will then look at the new application for the new people. Let's chat maybe offline and see what other platform maybe you can actually assess and review, but also just making sure that you are ready even when they do come back, you are ready with some answers within your books and stuff.
Okay, great.
Perfect.
Thank you so much. We'll chat offline then.
No problem, sis. I will share my email here. I'm sharing it here. Please, when you send your email, make sure you CC my office, because I get a lot of emails and I can read, so that I can then pay attention to yours. So that then the team will also read and tell me where I need. My schedule has been quite full. I'm so grateful that I've been so busy. And yeah. Guys, there is another hand that I'm noticing. Thank you so much, Pumla. I'm gonna shut you off now. Are there any other hands, guys? Do you have any other thing? We're gonna follow up though with a compliance session. We're gonna bring some great accountants that are doing application, even people that are doing with the Department of Labor applications, and also the application with SARS, so that we can then be able to assist you guys. We really appreciate what you guys have done. I think, Dagmar, if there's nothing else from your side, I really appreciate. I always love spending time with you. And we met years back.
It's okay. I think we really covered lots of topics here today in these 2 hours. And I'm sure we were able really to assist and help you and get a little bit more clarity. Yes.
Perfect. Guys, if you have any questions, you know where to find us. We will be sending you the video, the audio of this, but we will also send you the presentation that will include, but the website at Dagmar's website is the perfect place to go to than trying to go to different places. And also that summary that I provided. God bless you, keep safe, pray, run, exercise, do something, and don't just get yourself depressed. This does not need people to be depressed. It needs people to be sharp and come up with new ideas and new ways of innovating and looking at your business in a different light. Thank you so much, Dagmar. God bless you, girl. We will chat.
Thanks very much, Precious. God bless you. You did an amazing job here. Take care.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.